and you could tell, like, he was kind of pissed, like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what? Like, can you hold back your kicks a little bit, please? And your punches. It was probably a Superman punch that got him too, because uh, man, that was stiff. I thought it was a great match. Brock looked awesome.
He did. He really did, and I was so happy for it. It was funny because right immediately following the first suplex, seemingly everyone in the stadium, probably a bunch of people at home,
One.
went one. Yes, exactly. And they counted along with every suplex. I think the final total was what, 8?
I think yeah,
And
8 is what I remember. So
and 4 F5s.
yeah.
And Cena took a worse beating. I genuinely believe that.
Cena took the worst beating like of all time.
And so it was a really, really good match. I was really expecting. I thought the cash in was going to come. I texted you beforehand.
But you thought it was going to be a failed cash in.
Yeah, that's because I'm not. I get Rollins as the heel, and I'm in on Rollins as the heel. Totally in. So I didn't want to see the heel win, but that's what happened, and that's okay. I get it. It was fun. It was a fun moment. It was like, oh wow, okay, that was good. It was different, and I liked that it was different from. It kind of is pseudo different. It ended up being very similar to last year, but it started off at least different than last year.
Well, and it was kind of a surprise, which made it fun. It was like, I shouted like, "Oh, here, like it's Seth." Oh,
Yeah.
like so. I have fun with it. I loved it, and I'm really looking forward to just a singles match of Reigns and Rollins. I think they could actually put on a really good match together. So I'm hoping we get to see that.
It was a good moment. It was different from what we saw last year, in a sense, because I think no one was wanting another triple threat match for the. It happened again. Where we lost Mike. Well, we have lost Mike at this point. Let me see if I can get him back. But if we don't, we wish Mike a good rest of the week, and we'll probably talk to him next week. But I don't know if anyone wanted to see another triple threat match. Yes, it kind of turned into one again. So, but it was at least different.
Yeah, and it was a surprise. Well, sort of. It wasn't scheduled as a triple threat match, and it was fun. I know I shouted like, "Oh, it's Seth." So like I loved it. It was a really entertaining match up until that point, and then that to me was kind of like the cherry on the top. Like, oh, not only are we showing you this great match, but boom, there's a surprise and a twist, and kind of just made the evening complete.
Yeah, it really did. So enter in 24 hours later for the post WrestleMania Raw show. Now, one thing that really struck me right off the bat was how loud the crowd was, and apparently, from what I'm gathering from different reports, there was some good chants going on, and there was some good, hearty, a good active crowd, and that really helps. That really helps Raw. But that being said, we saw Lesnar invoke his rematch clause and just go crazy.
Yeah, I think he killed Michael Cole. And he flipped over the announcers table, which meant they couldn't use it for the rest of the night for some reason. I don't understand that.
They need ICB.
But yeah, but like basically, he also killed Booker T and JBL in the process somehow. So we had like a makeshift announce team who had to stand for some reason because they couldn't get anyone to put the table back over. I mean, I don't know.
Or give them a folding chair.
Like, yeah, they couldn't even get the guys chairs. So like you paid $200 to sit there, and now you got Jerry Lawler standing in your way the whole time. That's cool.
Well, he's short, so.
Yeah, but he's kind of fat.
Yeah, true. He's wide.
He's wearing a crown.
And then he had Stephanie McMahon come out and indefinitely suspend Lesnar. So, a little perplexing as
So he
to
won't be on Raw for, for like 8 weeks, which is, because he was on
par for the
Raw. Yeah,
course.
like what do you mean suspended? Like what? You weren't gonna see him anyways.
I don't know. Maybe everybody thought that we would see him because he signed a new deal, and that he wasn't going to go to UFC. But
He even said though, like after he signed the deal, he's like, I couldn't pass it down. He's like, I still can work part time for full time pay. Is basically what he said. Like, well, okay,
thanks, Jerk.
see you at SummerSlam.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm with you. I think the Rollins Reigns match could be really good, and I would like to finally be able to see. I'd like to see Rollins do more and show his ability more.
I just don't know if you're gonna see it with kind of the character they have him as, kind of the old school, heel that's he can only cheat to win, and he's kind of he ducks out of singles matches and stuff like that. It doesn't make sense because he's good enough where they could just have him look fearless like other heels do, like Luke Harper does. But for some reason that's just kind of the character they chose for him, and it's a shame because he really is. He's one of the top 3 probably in the ring when they allow him to be.
And a couple of things that did happen on Raw that were pretty much of big note. You had a lot of NXT call-ups. I haven't heard what the roster trimmings have been, though I could probably put together about 10 people that don't need to be on the roster anymore. You had the Lucha Dragons.
Right. Well, half of the Lucha Dragons has already been up.
Sin Cara.
Yeah, Sin Cara. So, but the other guy, he's the talent, I think, of that team.
Yes, definitely wowed the crowd.
It was fun to see him up.
Yes. I did happen to see that match. That was pretty impressive to see him do like body 360s and body rolls on. Who was he even facing at that time? Jeez.
Weren't they facing the
Cesaro
and Kid?
Yeah, Cesaro and Kid. So that was impressive to see. The other call up that I was rather surprised was, in a lot of the universe, was Adrian Neville has been called up to Raw and is now on the roster. And I'm wondering if I wouldn't expect a meteoric rise, but with this, is he a heel or face? You would know more.
I came in late to his, I guess, NXT career. I believe he was a face. He's so good, though. I mean, from the little I've seen, I'm scared that they're gonna kind of ruin him by being on Raw. Kind of the way they did with Cesaro, kind of the way they did with Rollins. These guys are, amazing in NXT, and yes, Rollins is your WWE champion, but he's not doing the things in the ring that he did in NXT. They're not allowing him to. I hope that they kind of realize like they can't throw this guy in, matches that don't help him succeed.
Yeah, I hope you're right. I hope that as soon as I saw him saw on Twitter that he was getting called up, my initial thought was, what if Mr. Future is already having a battle for the future? And not to go off of like a Terminator Genesis type thing.
We saw enough Terminator at WrestleMania.
Yeah. That could be an interesting angle if they wanted to make it that, but I almost feel like that would be something for a U.S. title, or probably the U.S. title. I think it would be for not not the heavyweight title, not WWE heavyweight title. And I don't expect to see a Neville Rollins match, say, next year WrestleMania, but I hope they use them appropriately, and I think the best way you can do that is to improve your overall quality of the show by trimming just a lot of the dead weight that's there. Curtis Axel, Adam Rose, personally Fandango, Slater, Mark Henry, Big Show. I'd love for Kane, like you've mentioned before, taking a lot of time off, just letting his character reset, and just getting some better talent out there, or getting some fresher faces, individuals out there.
Some of the guys you mentioned, they're only dead weight because the WWE has buried them. Heath Slater actually in the ring isn't that bad. He doesn't have a lot of charisma, and his character is just terrible. But like, I've seen matches where they let him kind of wrestle, and he was pretty good. Fandango, I mean, he beat Jericho at WrestleMania 3 years ago, and he's a hell of a performer in the ring. They buried him. He kind of like Cesaro, like he had this great WrestleMania moment, and then, and so like some of those guys like that, like I don't wish they were released. I just wish they kind of gave him more of a chance, like an actual chance. Mm-hmm. Guys like the Big Show, like there's room for the Big Show. It's just I don't want to see him in the main event. Like, you have 3 hours to fill on Raw, so there's room for the Big Show. Like to me, he's a mid carder now though. Like,
yeah,
and I don't want to see him with the Authority. Like I don't want the Authority to exist at all anymore, to be honest. Like, it's I don't know. I think it kind of buries the guys that are in it, like Seth Rollins. But I don't know.
Yeah,
it still helps WWE with your original thought. It still helps WWE by bringing guys up like Neville and.
I guess if they want to keep some of those, I don't know, those B players, those mid cards, lower cards, type guys, just use SmackDown as that platform. Let SmackDown be.
Here, get rid of New Day. Get rid of all 3 of them.
Oh gosh.
Well, you know what? No. Put Big E. Put him in the announcer's booth, and get rid of Booker T, because when he was doing matches, he was really good. Big E he's smart and intelligent and funny. Like he should be doing that and not Booker T, because Booker T has marbles in his mouth. I can't understand what he's saying, and every time he talks, all I can think about is Shannon Sharp.
I can agree with you there. I can absolutely agree with you there. I don't need Booker T on that anymore. I just don't. So, let's see. Other thoughts for post WrestleMania Raw?
Sheamus made his return.
Yes.
Oh man, they did it right though. I said no one likes him. He's got to be a heel. And then I saw, I was catching up. I was on DVR, and like I for some reason I glanced at Twitter, and I saw a picture of him. I'm like, oh my god, this was before I knew he had turned heel, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And then I'm like, wait, like, and then when I actually watch, I'm like, you know what? It looks ridiculous. He's a heel. It actually fits. Like, I kind of like the haircut with this character.
Yes.
I still don't like Sheamus because I still don't think he can wrestle, and he still can't talk, fella. But it's better than him being a baby face, and like it's better than what it was, I guess.
Yeah,
if he's gonna be on the roster, if he's gonna be here, make him a heel and make him look ridiculous, and there you go.
and the crowds. I don't know. Did you hear about some of the chants that the crowd was